I made a video about Does It Play a while back, and I think these guys do incredible work. If you want to support anything that involves, information about games, and saving games outside of StopKillingGames.org, which is another place that I'm a big fan of. Uh, these guys are what it is. I love what they're doing. They're doing God's work. Honestly, they're basically going through various games on various platforms and find out do they play offline. This is a really big deal because nowadays a lot of games are being, not just delisted, some of them being unplayable if you don't have internet connection. They become like really gimped, like really handicapped if they don't have online connection. And in some cases, some of these games need a download. So if you don't download certain things prior, not, I'm not just talking about patches, but if you don't download some parts of the game prior to these servers going down, you could have basically a paperweight, or a coaster or whatever the case may be. So with that being said, I love what these guys do. The link is down in the description. You guys need to check these guys out. You can find out all information on games that you may own or games that you may want to buy, or just, it's just an interesting thing to find out how these games are built in a certain way because of what these guys are figuring out. Well, with that being said, these guys have reached 2,000 games. I think they're almost 2,020 games now, as far as the games that they are re- uh, basically researching and the results that they're getting. And I want to commend these guys because these guys are absolutely phenomenal. And some of the games that they have on here are actually interesting that I did not know. Like, for instance, I did not necessarily know that a game like Days Gone needed a download to start the game. I thought this was one of the games that Sony made that actually you could just play, straight through, but there's some sort of download that is required. Some other games like Saints Row, didn't know that, as Saints Row 4, I mean, I didn't know that. Some games like a Dragon is another one. And there's a game that I did not know that would have been, completely playable offline, was Cyberpunk on 2077 Ultimate Edition. That's another game that they looked at, and you can play that straight offline with no issues, which is, kind of bittersweet because that game came out in terrible fashion, but now they fixed a lot of things, and if you want to play it, you don't have to worry about ever being dealt with online situations with the Ultimate Edition. So that is absolutely awesome. But there's some games, I don't want to go down this rabbit hole, but there's a lot of games under my belt that I like to play that are on basically online only. Like the Gran Turismos of the world. I actually thought about buying a new Forza at some point. That's a that has no offline play, which is very interesting because I don't think Forza Motorsport ever had that issue. From 1 to 6 or even 1 to 7. Obviously, Forza One, which is one of my favorite games, they never had this issue. So all the way up to like 1 through 7. Now look at this. You have to have an online connection. So it's really unfortunate. But with that being said, shout out to these guys. These guys are doing amazing work. I really appreciate them. And these guys really need to be supported. If they have a Patreon, if you want to support them, and I'm not necessarily promoting them, but there's some. Well, I am supporting them. Well, I am promoting them. But with that being said, these are situations where they have to be promoted because this type of situation is a really big deal when it comes to gaming and preservation and information. So I'll definitely be on the bandwagon of supporting these guys as much as I can. These guys are absolutely awesome, and I really appreciate what they do. And it just goes without saying. I mean, if you're a gamer, you would like to know this type of stuff. So let's just just support the guys. I will just say that. Now, all right, guys, let's go ahead and jump into the other topic. Little Big Planet 3 servers are officially shutting down, and they're going to shut down indefinitely. I think they had some issues with their servers, and I don't know. I played a little bit of Little Big Planet. I have a little bit of gameplay of this game on my channel, on one of my videos. I tried to get into this game, and I like platformers, and I'm not saying it's a bad game. It's just that when I was playing it, I knew something wasn't right with this game. I mean, I just had a feeling that something wasn't. going to be on the up and up. And this is probably one of the things that was probably, in my gut feeling about the game. I didn't want to invest too much time into the game. Now you have almost 10 million levels that are probably going to be going forever because Little Big Planet servers are shut down. Now they do have an offline mode in this game that you can play, which is okay, I guess. But I'm not that interested in the game. But I will say that this really sucks because that's a lot. That is a lot of levels that's going to be, gone. And I think if Little Big Planet, I don't know if they could have done this. If it was, if I had a magic wand to do this, I would just said like, look, all these levels would have just been access to the public via patch, and y'all can have it. I don't know if that was possible, but that was something I would have done. Now, Little Big Planet 1, 2, and 3, well, 1 and 2 was already offline before. I mean, I think those two games was going for a while now. And Little Big Planet 3 is like it just followed in the footsteps. And I'm not necessarily sure if this is like a server thing or if this was something that was just company, policy. Because some companies just say, hey, look, we're gonna have a game up for 3 years, then we're gonna cut it down, or we're gonna shut it down, or we're gonna have a game up for 6 years and we're gonna shut it down, or when a player count gets below a certain area, we're gonna shut it down. I don't know if that was the case, but it just seems like it just seems like this is something that is actually a thing. I don't know, what to say about it, to be honest. To me it just seems like a situation that was like with Mario Maker. I mean, you can still download whatever you downloaded off the server, you can keep it on your console locally. So I don't know if anybody, found some stages that they like and decided to download them and keep them. I mean, that's what I did with Mario Maker 1. I found probably about 30 levels that I like, and I kept them on my Wii U. And me and my son, go back and play them when, or we could go back and play them whenever. But nevertheless, it's more of a situation now. Like that's a lot of levels, man. 10 million. I don't know. I don't know how many Mario Maker 1 had, but it gotta be somewhere close to that, right? I mean, it's Mario. But nevertheless, 10 million levels is a lot of levels, and that's a lot of people's art, a lot of people work, blood, sweat, and tears, or that they put into making levels, and they're gone. And hopefully whoever made the levels, they still got them. I don't know if they'll be able to share them, but that's really a bummer because a lot of people, a lot of fans really put a lot of work into some of these levels, and some of these levels are actually great. I've seen some on the internet, on YouTube, and especially those Mario levels. And I know this is not a Mario game, a Mario video, but some of those levels are absolutely gorgeous on Mario Maker. I mean, great stuff. But nevertheless, I don't know what else to say, man. It really sucks. Little Big Planet 3 servers are shut down, and um, I don't know, man. On to the next game, I guess. Just it's all about keeping awareness out there so people know what's going on. Also, shout out to DoesItPlay.org. Those guys are doing great work. 2,000 games and still going. And as long as they keep pushing, and as long as they want to keep working, man, I'm gonna keep supporting, man. So that's pretty much it, man. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. All right, y'all. I'm out. Peace.